This is America's oldest soccer tournament. Built in small towns with big dreams. From local grounds to the biggest stages, part-timers and major leaguers chase the same thing. A cup that doesn't care about your club's payroll or what the pundits say. A cup that invites the chaos and carries a legacy. Under the lights, between the lines, it's one match at a time. To cement your name in history. This is the 111th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
From Little Rock, Arkansas, it's the first round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup as the Little Rock Rangers of USL League 2 host USL Championship side FC Tulsa. Hello everyone, alongside Eric Dubransky, I'm Maura Sheridan. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. It was a very busy day in the U.S. Open Cup. Well, for Little Rock, this is a stage that they're familiar with. In fact, this USL League 2 side beat a USL Championship side in Birmingham last year.
Yeah, they don't have to look too far to see the success they've found in the first round, knocking off Birmingham Legion last year 1-0, and a familiar face in midfield tonight, scoring that winning goal last year.
Meanwhile, for FC Tulsa, this is a team that's coming off of losing the USL Championship final in 2025, looking for a hot start here in 2026.
And it's all predicated on how difficult they are to break down defensively, and turning that defensive posture into offensive output for FC Tulsa is going to be key tonight.
Well, it's a 10th U.S. Open Cup appearance for FC Tulsa. We will take a break, and then it's the 111th edition of this storied tournament. Lineups and first kick between FC Tulsa and the Little Rock Rangers on the other side. Stick with us.
Rodman cuts inside. Rodman to the far corner. It's a special goal from Trinity Rodman. Macario goes to tip the keeper. It's sublime. Lamar from distance. Down, sliding it through, it's a chance for anti-Rams. It's Gio Reyna across goal. Balogun! Layup at top of Alex Freeman.
Welcome back to Little Rock, Arkansas, getting ready to kick off Little Rock Rangers and FC Tulsa in Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Let's get you set on the starting 11s for both teams. What stands out to you, Eric?
Yeah, for Luke Spencer and FC Tulsa, getting a proper start to this match is going to be important, highlighted by the intensity and the high-quality pressure they can get on the ball. Remy Cabral leads that attack, explosive threat, relentless in his movement. Obviously, Bruno Lapa will unquestionably have control of the flow of this game in terms of what they want to do on the ball. And then for Little Rock, letting the defensive side guide the way they grow into this match. Dubé and McConnell's work in front of that back line will be crucial.
Carson Alston is our center referee. Gold kits for FC Tulsa on the road. It was about a 4-hour drive to get here to Little Rock. They are at the very beginnings of the USL Championship season. And the Black Kits at home with the red stripe across for the Little Rock Rangers, who have not started USL League 2 play. An early foul against Cabral here for FC Tulsa. Excuse me, that's against Bruno Lapa. It's funny, we talked to both of the the coaches for FC Tulsa and for this Little Rock side, saying very different things about the opening 20 minutes of this game. Luke Spencer for FC Tulsa said, we want to be up 5-0. They have not scored in the Young USL Championship season across 2 games, so looking for goals here. And for Francesco Brunetti, who is the head coach for Little Rock, he said, we want it to be scoreless after 20 minutes.
Yeah, 2 different perspectives. Obviously, USL Championship side FC Tulsa, they're 2 games into their season. As you mentioned, have yet to score a goal, lost 2-0 in their opener to Sacramento Republic away, and then a 0-0 draw against San Antonio at home. Team that's always difficult to play against, and Western Conference champions from last year played in the final, and it was all predicated on clean sheets, being difficult to break down, and how does that now turn into some of the offensive output that they're looking to execute. And for Little Rock Rangers, it's like Brunetti said, trying to keep this game close, keep FC Tulsa frustrated, and that's going to be the key here early on, and you see that across the Open Cup, is keeping it close in that first 15, 20 minutes, kind of getting a good view of what the opponents and each of you are doing.
No, that one sails over the crossbar for FC Tulsa, but already on the move, looking to push the pace here against this Little Rock team who Brunetti was honest with us. He said, we're going to sit back defensively.
Yeah, get a good look at what FC Tulsa is looking to do. Obviously, you can see the press already, top of the 18. Little Rock's going to go long here, and it's going to be a process for Little Rock Rangers. Start out defensively, and that's the way you see a lot of teams having to do. Keep the structure, especially if your season hasn't started. You've not gotten a proper game in yet, and this is kind of your first look at your 11.
Well, chipped into the area and then headed down for Little Rock, looking to turn and go. Pushing that center circle, played through the middle. Now Stoffer. Lucas Stoffer from Greensboro, Kentucky, 30 years old. Has a start under his belt with this FC Tulsa side. Joined this club in April of 2025. Finds Dane Jacomin, who is the goalkeeper for FC Tulsa today. He's a backup on this roster, or on this club, I should say. He was signed 8 days ago. Jacomin, Pittsburgh native, through the air. Headed down here on the wing, surging into the 18. Cabral calling for it, cut back towards the spot, and it's cut off. Lapo was the option. Slicing through, and cycled around here for this FC Tulsa side.
And that's what Luke Spencer and his side are going to look for. Can you win some of those duels out in the wide areas? Get Little Rock Rangers shifted over, especially for a group that has not been able to work together for a significant amount of time. If you can get them moving, shifting, having to kind of adjust space.
Cabral squares, hesitates, flicks it wide. Looking for a shot here off the cross, and it's cleared out by Little Rock. Early pressure from FC Tulsa. Right back at it, off the service. Lightly cleared for now. Little Rock looking to go, but they don't have numbers. Getting twisted around. A foul was called against the visitors in FC Tulsa. Now Luke Spencer, head coach for FC Tulsa, saying we're not going to rotate too much in this game because they've only played 2 USL Championship matches, so he feels like they're pretty fresh. Sure, looking for a little bit of a confidence boost too without a win so far in the season. And for Little Rock, the message was clear. We belong. We have nothing to lose.
Absolutely, and you mentioned last year, host Birmingham Legion, you beat them 1-0. I mean, you don't have a lot of returners from that squad, but you have enough and enough belief within the organization that you can put together a team that can compete at that level, and that's the beauty of the U.S. Open Cup. I mean, collectively, yes, you're starting to get to know each other. You're learning the familiarity in real time, but individually, you're trying to prove that you belong in that conversation, and a lot of these players are aspiring pros, so you're going to get their best shot, and you're going to get it for 90 minutes.
Well, ball muscled away for FC Tulsa, just floating outside the 18. Off the interception, it's cleared. Well, this Little Rock side has only trained together for about 4 days, so really just focused on the defensive aspects that they control. But as you mentioned, 2025 was a great Open Cup run. It was only the second appearance at the time in this tournament for Little Rock, and it was a cup set against Birmingham Legion. Queven McConnell, who we see in this match, wearing number 33 as a midfielder, had the game winner to start the second half. Thomas Roblewski, who's a goalkeeper today as well for Little Rock, had a huge PK save in the first half as well. Off the throw for Tulsa, battle through the air, waiting for it to drop, and we get a call against FC Tulsa. Now the flag goes up.
And Coach Bernetti had made the point to us about the preparations for a match like this. You can't focus so much on the tactical. As you mentioned, you're going into the defensive side, making sure that that's sound and those roles are clear, but also the mental aspect of getting prepared for a game like this. If you're brought into this squad, obviously the quality and the characteristics and the profile of the player are there. Now it's about just making sure mentally you're sharp and you're ready to play this match, and you can already see it. He's got to be pleased with the second and third wave defensively, because FC Tulsa has done a good job of winning some of these first duels, but they're finding it difficult to break Little Rock Rangers down completely. You could see that last pass is just not there, and that's credit to Little Rock Rangers getting themselves in position. They are getting themselves overshifted in some situations, but right now winning some of those later battles that have kept this at 0-0.
Well, the Rangers as a club started in 2016 in the NPSL, and they moved over to USL 2 in 2021. The League 2 and amateur side won't start till May. FC Tulsa choosing to possess here. Played long for Tulsa, sprinting two. And it rolls out of play. Right in front of a photographer there. Might not be the best position to be.
Late collision right here. But that sequence right there defensively for Little Rock Rangers is what they're going to want to stack possessions off of. Good pressure from John Coca up top, and he's going to be tasked with making play predictable, especially in the moments that FC Tulsa put their foot on the ball, keep the ball through the back, and you force that long ball, and there's just not a lot of space back there. And right now, the lines are connected for Little Rock Rangers, but there's only so long that you can keep this game at 0-0. At some point, you want that defensive side to lead in to some of the offensive attack, and Coach Bernetti had mentioned that they have the quality there going forward.
Someone like John Coca, he's been with this Ranger side for 4 seasons. Played at Missouri State. Quite a few international players on this roster for Little Rock, including Coca. Was born in Spain. Cabral, a new addition for FC Tulsa, signed in February, has yet to start a USL championship game, and something that Spencer said is just trying to get acclimated to this group, but he does feel like the sky is the limit. He kind of fits the profile of what they want an FC Tulsa player to be. Yeah,
the qualities are there. The powerful attacker, he's got the pace, and then the finishing ability. And for a team that saw Taylor Calhera make the move to Sporting KC in the offseason, obviously trying to get that production.
Stauffer looking for the cross, and he slams that into the defense off Bettina. Right into the chin of the defender there for Little Rock. It will result in a corner. Well, this is a first corner kick that we've seen for either side over 10 minutes into this match. Little Rock and Tulsa, Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Something Luke Spencer said is we want to be better on set pieces. They focused on that in training ahead of this game. Didn't feel like it's been great over the past 2 matches. So we'll see if that pays off. On the delivery, headed towards the far post, and it's punched away. And McConnell is able to clear. Oblevsky redirects the goalkeeper for Little Rock.
Good delivery here, putting it right in an area that you're testing the overall structure and discipline of Little Rock on those set pieces, because to your point, Luke Spencer had mentioned both sides of the ball on set pieces, offensively kind of getting that delivery in the runs. But why not when you're playing a team that has not been together? Set pieces are one of those massive details that you just might not have time to cover. And if you go after it and you test and make the box chaotic enough, can you get it on first and second contact?
Stoffer. Talapa, who surveys. A dish behind to Lamar Batista. Oklahoma City native. Off the combinations, offside is called against FC Tulsa. A little too quick for Little Rock. And Kishuma, the Brazilian.
And about 20 yards higher than was originally called for the offside. And this is the right side of Little Rock. Patina, specifically as an outside back, values his role as a 1v1 defender. I know him well from his time at FIU and transferred as a grad student to UMKC. And the dual impact that he has, he can climb the field at a rapid rate, get himself involved. Quality delivery obviously draws the foul there. So that's a player that they would love to get released as this game kind of wears on. But you gotta influence it early, winning matchups early. If you don't do that, then you kind of get picked out, and then the game kind of lives in your half. If you win some of those duels early, then you can start climbing out, and then you can start gaining some territory.
No, that's something that Brunetti said to us. He said, don't let us grow into this game. That is where you see the cup sets happen, when teams are allowed to hang around. McConnell off this free kick, headed towards that back post, through the air, waiting for it to drop, off the header, and it's over the crossbar. Last to touch, though, FC Tulsa, so it will be a corner kick.
And case in point, that's a prime example right there. You get a quality delivery, far post, player wide open, and then you just have all the movement and the uncertainty.
Now Queven McConnell from Northern Ireland off the corner. And no problem there for Jacoman. On the rollout for FC Tulsa.
Again, you have to like what Little Rock is doing thus far, but you also get solid hints of potent attack from FC Tulsa, and this is an FC Tulsa side that last year, 14 clean sheets, second in the USL Championship, so not a team that beats themselves.
Stoffer settles. Off that run, intended target was Lapa. On the final third here for the USL Championship side. Stoffer on the strong throw-in. A couple of players rising for it, but no one can connect. In transition now, Little Rock. certainly did not have the numbers there. Jacoman is out. Oh, we had a whistle before that. We do have a player observing Ramadan, and so that is a pause here. All right, so we're about 16 minutes into this match. Little Rock, FC Tulsa, first time these two teams have played each other. What have you seen so far?
Yeah, positive play from FC Tulsa, how aggressive and progressive they are. As soon as they regain possession, I think they're asking a lot of different questions. Now it's just about breaking down Little Rock in the defensive third, in FC Tulsa's attacking third. Can you do it on the dribble? Can you do it with quick combinations, link-up play? But for Little Rock, they have to be pleased with their defensive prowess right now, and mainly their ability to get back in the play in that second and third action, because you know when you're playing a team that has started their season, has gone through a full preseason, a lot of these first action duels are going to kind of lie with them because they're the ones that are anticipating a bit quicker. They're reading the game a bit quicker because they've played together. Their structure's there. You're reactionary, so it's so important to then absorb some of those second and third actions, and they're doing a great job of it. Can it lead to some of what we've seen just the last few minutes, the deep free kick, and then that led to the corner for McConnell?
So back in action, FC Tulsa player observing Ramadan, so broke the fast. Played centrally. Off the collision, Little Rock benefits, and we get a call there. It's amateur sides against Tier 3 and Tier 2 teams in this first round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Stoffer can't collect. Lapa does, though. Off the service, bends it around, far post, saved! Roblewski! And FC Tulsa is right there to score. Well, off the rebound, FC Tulsa finishes the job. Chaotic sequence.
And that's the variety that FC Tulsa has showcased here early on, getting Little Rock Rangers overshifted at times. That late arrival, they've had good representation in the 18-yard box throughout this opening 20 minutes. Quality delivery. That's the start that Luke Spencer and his side were looking for. 19 minutes in, you find the opener.
It did look like Little Rock was looking to see if maybe someone was offside there, but FC Tulsa, the aggressor, and now up a goal on Little Rock.
And when you get a delivery and the timing of the run like that, it does seem to be, you get a lot of teams that think it is offside because it's so in sync that you don't know how they got that open, but players in front of the box are occupying defenders, good recognition.
Oh, we'll see how this Little Rock side responds. We're not ever down in the game against Birmingham Legion, so a bit of a different situation as compared to last year.
Now, when they advanced to that second round, they did fall down 2-0 to FC Naples within the first 15 minutes, so they don't want to kind of have that snowball effect that they had in the second round last year, where you concede first and then you concede shortly after. Keep this game at 1-0. There's no reason that you have to go after it just yet.
No, they're going to give that goal to Remy Cabral. I'm mentioning Cabral, the French international, just getting situated with FC Tulsa, and that's a good way to start things off in his career with a new club. And previously he was playing for Phoenix Rising in USL Championship. Well, on May 31st, Charlotte, North Carolina welcomes the U.S. men's national team for the All-State Continental Classico against Senegal, the champions of Africa. Get your first look at the nation's biggest stars before they head to the FIFA World Cup this summer. The match kicks off at Bank of America Stadium at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Tickets are available now at ussoccer.com/tickets. No, Little Rock into the final third. It takes a deflection, though, right to Lapa. He wants to transition for FC Tulsa. Cabral, who's a goal scorer, holds it up in the midfield. He plays it wide to Stauffer. Stauffer does a full 360. Then on the overlapping run, it's won back by Hollenbach. Hollenbach for Little Rock is 21 years old. First team All-Horizon Conference at Purdue Fort Wayne. In quite a bit of pain is Antonio Natalucci, the Italian player for Little Rock.
Sustained pressure from FC Tulsa, and then see the foul there along the sideline. Goals change games, and they change the narrative and the storyline of matches. So for Little Rock, do you get an FC Tulsa side that are happy that they've scored early? Do they kind of become complacent? Can you attack some of that complacency? Or are FC Tulsa able to keep their foot on the gas and continue to create some opportunities in areas where Little Rock kind of open themselves up, maybe go after this game as they prepare for the long throw here, and they're going to look for every opportunity to get any sort of ball in the box.
Off the throw for the home side. Kept in the 18, now cleared. Racing to Bettina. He's alone with Cabral, now he has help. Cabral cuts it across to Lapa. Stauffer makes a run. Stauffer head on a swivel. Off his left foot. The edge of the 18. Nice sequence and build here for FC Tulsa. Curled around, far post, off the header. And it's just out of play. That one off the crossbar. And Wroblewski might have had that squared otherwise.
And right now, everything for FC Tulsa is front-footed. I mean, look at how many numbers they have in the 18-yard box. They have 6 inside, 1 player sitting right outside. I mean, that is collective in their effort to get in and around the box. So this is definitely not a team that is playing complacent right now. They want to score goals and make sure that offensively they're getting into good rhythm. Talked about it, the 2 opening regular season matches, they've yet to score. But that San Antonio match, their second match, they created some good opportunities. Same against Sacramento Republic. Obviously, Sacramento Republic being a solid side. And in just a couple days, they host Las Vegas Lights. FC Tulsa will, and it's going to be so important that they're clicking and they're making sure that they're seeing every moment of this game out and they're dialed in.
This FC Tulsa side has big dreams in the Open Cup as well. Made it to the 3rd round last year.
That right there is going to be a consistent threat for Little Rock Rangers. That long throw, I know Lucas Stauffer showcases one as well for FC Tulsa. But this one for Little Rock Rangers, it allows them to get all the numbers committed forward. We Saw that one quickly go through that first and second line of defense and all the way to the goalkeeper.
Well, a real big switching the point of attack. Stauffer in the corner, 2 defenders swarm. Pierre has it deflected. Off of Lappa and Stauffer again. This left side has been very threatening for FC Tulsa. Stauffer looking for the cross. He'll get a corner instead.
Heavy involvement from Lucas Stauffer, and you could see Bruno Lappa drifting over, creating the overload on that side. Earn another corner.
Oh, Remy Cabral has the lone goal of this game for Tulsa. Up on the road in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. A Little Rock got in front of that one. And we got a whistle against FC Tulsa.
Yeah, so far impressive from Little Rock Rangers, the way that they're defending set pieces, free kicks. And you can see they're growing into this match on the ball. Now it's about how do you break FC Tulsa down, and they've done this a couple times.
Well, jolted into the attacking third and saved by FC Tulsa. Jacomin makes the stop. Well, that was the best look that we've seen for Little Rock in this match, and it happened quickly.
Now you ramp up the pressure.
Stolen away, Little Rock takes a shot. Jacomin another one. Well, gaining in confidence just on those regains.
Yeah, building belief. Pressing cues are so important in the game, regardless of the way you defend. But if you have a defender that turns his back to the field, faces goal, you see that as a cue that you can play right through and create your own opportunity.
Oh, it's clean against Cabral, then the other way. A push on Natalucci.
In these one-game elimination matchups, it's so important that you have a team that recognizes flow and tempo and momentum, and when it shifts in your favor, out of your favor, who gets on the ball, and kind of regain some of that tempo. Obviously, Bruno Lappa being one of those players for FC Tulsa, McConnell being that one of those players for Little Rock Rangers. I would believe Wroblewski in goal would be as well.
Bettina from Coca looks for options. Off the cross, Jacomin calls everybody off. Dives on it, the goalkeeper for Tulsa. Well, 32 matches in this first round. The 32 winners will play in round 2, March 31st and April 1st. MLS teams will enter the fray in the round of 32. Played long again, Cabral's the option, and getting in front there, Little Rock.
Just how different the questions are from FC Tulsa. You have the players like Jamie Weber, Bruno Lappa that can play in front of a back line, but you also have players like Remy Cabral. Obviously, we've seen the work of Lucas Stauffer that can stretch the back line.
Another corner kick for Tulsa. Through the air, drops down, looking for a shot, Lappa, and it's redirected wide.
Since conceding, I think Little Rock has done a tremendous job of settling in. I mean, you look at final third entries, 21 for FC Tulsa, 17 for Little Rock. Shots, 4 to 3, Little Rock with the 3, but 2 on target. If they can keep this game at 1-0, if they don't find the equalizer, they've got to feel good about going into the break, making some adjustments.
A give for Cabral. Now Stoffer. Plays it outside. Lapa. Engineering things for FC Tulsa. 1v1. Stoffer off the service. No. Second ball. Wow, what a shot for Tulsa. My goodness. Absolutely smash for FC Tulsa.
Yeah, you see decisiveness met with just a ferocious strike. I mean, he was teeing up as this ball took a bounce, and just as casual as it gets.
Well, off the half volley, FC Tulsa makes it 2-0. Smashes that one in the back of the net. Oh, the celebration was so muted, it was confusing for a second there. Some friendly fire for FC Tulsa on the back line.
Jamie Weber just put his laces through that one, and as you mentioned, just kind of the casual celebration, just turned and expected that to hit the back of the net. He didn't see any hesitation in his thought process and made sure that he hit frame.
Oh, one of the greatest rivalries in women's international soccer is coming to Seattle. The U.S. women's national team returns to Lumen Field for the first time in nearly a decade, facing Japan on Tuesday, April 14th. World Cup finals, Olympic thrillers, iconic moments. This rivalry has delivered it all, and now it's coming to the Pacific Northwest. Get tickets today at ussoccer.com/tickets. So it is Jamie Weber with the goal for FC Tulsa. We saw Cabral score as well. Weber has started 2 matches for the USL Championship side.
This is a midfield for FC Tulsa. Kind of seen itself kind of revamped with the entrance of Delence Pierre, typically a center back, Delence Pierre. Now he's in midfield, obviously some injuries within FC Tulsa. You see that midfield maybe change as the season goes on, but Delence Pierre has done a great job of stepping into that role and playing with Bruno Lapa and Jamie Weber. As we see another free kick for FC Tulsa. It's so important that Little Rock make sure that at least this game stays at 2-0, because you can kind of continue the fight.
Still a free kick on the way for FC Tulsa. Chaotic. And the ball's in the 6, now just squeaks out. Multiple players down, and finally it's out of the woods for Little Rock. We got a whistle as the player down. Well, just about 10 minutes to go in this first half. 2 goals for FC Tulsa. That's a Little Rock defender who's in some pain right now.
And there were a lot of bodies flying around in that chaotic moment. I think Little Rock understands how delicate this situation is going into the break, making sure that this doesn't become a 3-0 scoreline as we see this ball clipped in. A lot of contact.
Well, ultimately, 4 players fall in that sequence. Good to see the defender Hollenbach on his feet.
this 2-0 scoreline. Hollenbach and this back line are unquestionably going to be the ones that guide this team into settling down, finding some of that sturdiness defensively, the structure, making sure they're back on track. You know how frail the game of soccer can be. 2-0, you pull one back and then you make it a very nervy match. And that's what FC Tulsa understands. They know that at 2-0, you're in good shape, but you're going to continue to seek out a third. Because even before scoring that second from Jamie Weber, Little Rock created 2 consecutive chances, one with that ball played over the top, and then a few moments after that, a quick turnover.
Jacoman has been tested really once in this match, a true chance for Little Rock. The first Open Cup appearance for Little Rock was 2019. Off the seal, centrally, looking for that through ball. Light touch, powering through, off the shot, and it's saved. Jacoman. A wonderful chance there for Little Rock. Kishuma with the opportunity, but he can't finish.
And you can see the frustration immediately after, because you've got to do better here. You've got everything to shoot at, and he knows it right away. Got to find that composure. It did look like at the end you rush it, you kind of get a clear look at frame that way, and your eyes get so big, and you just got to settle yourself down. And player that has been able to find himself in some of those late arriving spaces, the work that John Coca's doing. Natalucci along that right side as well.
Looking to build here, Tulsa. Slip through centrally. And short passes. Blocked down, and it will be a throw-in.
That just shows how quickly this game can change. I mean, you tuck that one away, it's 2-1, you're feeling really good on top of some of the chances that you created earlier. Just like FC Tulsa, you've got the long throw that you can go to in the final third, so you can always make some of those sequences chaotic.
Off the long throw for FC Tulsa. Multiple players through the air. Headed down, and heavy off of Lapa. Dispossessor FC Tulsa plays it wide. Looking for the cross, and a corner instead. Well, success. This FC Tulsa team has had success off these corner kicks so far in this match. Delivered on the set piece, near post. Multiple players there. It drops down, shot, and it's saved. Wroblewski says no. Lapa with the chance. Attempting to bury, but the Polish international denies.
And a big save from Wroblewski on Bruno Lapa. This ball goes all the way through, takes the deflection, and it falls to one of the more dangerous attacking presences that USL Championship has seen in Bruno Lapa.
Lapa delivers this time. And before that, a call, a foul against Tulsa. Oh, Wroblewski wanted to go, was held up by Tulsa. 5 minutes ago in this first half. In the first round of the Open Cup, this is a knockout tournament. So you win and you move on. Otherwise, it's the end of your journey. Hollenbach, a Texas native. Roblewski, Lapa's right in front of him. Up the flank for Little Rock. There's that pressure. Jacoman soars it up to the midfield. Bettina for the Rangers.
I just don't see a lot for Little Rock in terms of what they have to change going to the break, because I think they've created some good chances when they've had the ability, but it's some of these transition moments.
Lapa, edge of the 18. Initial shot is stopped. On a clean takeaway for Little Rock. Oh, a delayed call there. It will be a free kick, essentially straight away for Tulsa. Frustrating for the Rangers. They thought that they had an opportunity to transition.
Yeah, they were off and running, and again, going back to it, I know this scoreline's 2-0, but they have to feel good about some of the moments they've created, and they have to feel like this game has more to offer them. But they almost have to be picture perfect from here on out, because you can't concede a third. You've got to be the one that scores the next goal. You've got to be good on these set pieces and be very detailed on how you clear your line.
The short option, now the service. Nothing much to it for Tulsa. Bettina. No, multiple players down for Little Rock. McConnell. And some pushing and shoving. Things getting testy in the Open Cup. Not to be expected when you consider the nature of this tournament. Coca fired up for Little Rock. Stauffer's going to get a yellow card. It's the first booking that we've seen in this match.
And you could see it with the way he's delaying the restart. You know the emotions are going to run high from both sides.
Well, the thing, if you're Little Rock and you're trying to pull off a cup set already down 2-0, you don't want to let the emotions get the best of you. These little mind games Tulsa USL Championship side is playing. Jacoman calls everybody off, settles with his feet, now waits to pick it up as Coco is right in front of him. Playing out for the back here, Tulsa. Opportunity for final push for either of these sides. Little Rock could benefit from a goal to make this one-score game going in the break. And right now their XG is just 0.25. Hollenbach. Bettina. Here come the Rangers. Poked away off the cross. Jacoman is able to cut it off. Still in the 18 for Little Rock. Lapa possesses. Kishuma has done well to win the ball back for the Rangers. Cabral has a first goal in this game. 4 defenders around him, and that hits off the back of Hollenbach into his goalkeeper, Roblewski.
And you can see Lucas Stauffer there making that late run, thinking that ball could have made it that the wide space.
We're going to see another booking, this time against Little Rock.
They're calling this contact against Little Rock Rangers. Restart going to FC Tulsa. For FC Tulsa offensively, they've done a good job of using the wide areas to really stretch Little Rock, because you know when you're playing a team that has been on short preparation, that they're unfamiliar with each other, their main goal is going to be stay compact, stay tight to each other, connected. But when you can be using the width and accessing a lot of that space, you force them to have to stretch it. You have to put some appropriate pressure on it, and you get overshifted or you leave some gaps. They've done a good job of creating those areas, but now they're going to want to tighten up defensively, because you look at some of the chances Little Rock has had. If they convert a couple of those, this game is different.
Dubé for Little Rock. By the way, that yellow card was Coca. So Stoffer and Coca both on yellows in this first half. Bettina. A drawn foul for McConnell. And a stoppage time in this first half. McConnell stands over the ball, off his right foot, bends it into the 18, far post, options there, looking for another chance here, Little Rock. Mishit by the Rangers, still with possession though. Dubé. Stores it up, and Jacomin just races out to cover. Waiting moments of this first half. Played long for Little Rock. And getting around, still fighting for it. That's just ultimately shaded out of play. Will be a goal kick for Jacomin.
And for Little Rock Rangers and Coach Brunetti, you don't have to make too many adjustments. Obviously, at some point in that second half, this scoreline's still at 2-0, you're going to have to open it up a bit more. You're going to have to throw some heavier numbers going forward. But you have to feel good about the chances you've created. You have to feel good at the looks that you've had. You have to score the next goal. You have to put the pressure on FC Tulsa, minimize some of these transition moments, obviously try to mitigate some of the spaces out wide. And for FC Tulsa, kind of cleaning up your box defending, because right now there's some nervy moments, whether it's a ball clipped in from a free kick, the long throw-ins, some of this direct play played out of the back from Little Rock. Got to be decisive with how you're playing out of your box. That should minimize some of the chances, but credit Little Rock continuing to battle. They're going to find their opportunity, and as you can see, they're going to throw numbers in the last few moments of this first half.
No, looking for a strong throw in here in stoppage time in the first half. Curls around, and Stoffer heads it away. McConnell. Aqua. Bettina. Off his left foot, on the cross, far post. And that chance is stopped. Well, Coca was there. Just didn't time it right. Little Rock going to be frustrated, couldn't finish their chances, but a strong way to end that first half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think they're going to look at it and be frustrated with some of the finishing opportunities they had, but they have not been able to convert. So much of the time, games like this are defined by converting your chances and taking your chances. For FC Tulsa, they've done a good job of being collective on both sides of the ball. Attacking-wise, good representation in the attacking box, but also getting their team behind the ball in defensive moments.
Well, we played 45 minutes here. It's 111th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. FC Tulsa came to play. The USL Championship side is dominating Little Rock after one half of play. 2 goals for Tulsa in this game so far. We'll take a break, come back the second half after this. Welcome back to Little Rock, Arkansas. We played 45 minutes of Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup first round game between FC Tulsa and the Little Rock Rangers. 2-0 is the score after one half. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first 45 minutes of this game.
Yeah, just for the variety from FC Tulsa has been on display. Good delivery there from Bruno Lapa. Save at the goal line, but the follow-up there from Remy Cabral, getting the opener in the first 20 minutes. And the question just came coming from FC Tulsa, and then Jamie Weber just teased this up from distance. And the casual celebration just walking away from probably one of the best goals of the night in the Open Cup. But Little Rock Rangers have had their chances, and they're gonna rue the day where they just didn't convert at least one of them and make this a tighter match. This ball falls to Bruno Lapa. Big save to keep this at 2-0. Important that Little Rock Rangers come out. They have the same defensive structure as they had in that first 45, but now you've got to find that composure in the final third.
Well, this Little Rock team, they wanted to defend. We're hoping to keep it scoreless in the first half. That was not the case, and so we'll see how they adjust and change things.
And you look at the numbers, I mean, efficiency is the name of the game for them right now. 5 shots, 4 of those shots on target. I mean, they are getting not only looks, but clear-cut looks against FC Tulsa. For FC Tulsa, defensively, can you tighten up some of the box defending, some of the initial clearances? They're just not getting fully out of the box, and then those second and third waves that you're seeing Little Rock get on the end of.
So we'll see if Little Rock has it in them to make a comeback. They are at home against an USL Championship side. This Little Rock side is an amateur team, USL League 2. Of course, there are 32 games over the course of the next, so actually started yesterday, today, and tomorrow in the first round of the U.S. Open Cup. So some scores from yesterday. Big news, Vermont Green with a cup set over Portland. Portland is a USL League 1 side, and Vermont is a League 2 side. Anything else stand out to you?
Yeah, I thought Richmond Kickers did a good job against Northern Virginia last night. Scored early and then found a late second goal to pull away. And then Rhode Island kind of coming off of a little bit of a frustrating start in the USL Championship. I mean, 4-0 to advance. I mean, overall, tightly contested matches for the most part. Obviously, Detroit City doing a great job. Phoenix Rising, same thing. But a lot of the midweek games, obviously, you're seeing some squad rotation, but you're also seeing a lot of top performances from individuals within a lot of clubs. And to your point, that Vermont Green advancing last night, that was the big matchup and big result of the night.
Well, both Little Rock and FC Tulsa back on the pitch. Ready to kick off here in the second half. Again, Eric Dobransky, Maura Sheridan, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. More games coming up tomorrow in the first round, and then we'll have things squared for that second round. That kicks off later this month. The first goal by Cabral, the second by Weber. That's how we got here for Tulsa. The best chances for Little Rock. Kishuma and Koka both had opportunities. Koka specifically at the very end. It was the final play of the first half. Just couldn't get a quality shot off, but he was looming in the area. You just wonder what the 27-year-old head coach for Little Rock, Francesco Brunetti, has drawn up in the second half. Because again, they feel like they have nothing to lose. They're probably going to take some chances here in the second.
Yeah, I thought the way they were set up in that first 45 was exactly the way that you'd want your team to come out and play, except they had conceded the 2 goals, and now you're playing from behind, and this game becomes even more delicate than it already is, because you can't concede the 3rd goal, because then it just becomes out of reach. Right now, you feel like you've created the chances. You have moments defensively that you can kind of tighten up and fine-tune. You saw it towards the end of that first 45 for Little Rock, the playmaking ability of Beltran and Hollenbach from those deeper positions. They were able to spray a ball over the top. You found some outlets in behind FC Tulsa, which opened up some space in midfield. Bettina got involved from that right back position for Little Rock, got some quality services. So build off of that. So the game plan could stay the same for the first 20-25 minutes. of the second half, but now you're going to have to open it up if that game, the scoreline stays 2-0.
Well, Tulsa's going to start with possession in the second half. And we are underway. Open Cup. First round, Little Rock Rangers FC Tulsa. Played long for Tulsa. Cabral with the heel pass. That's how he scored. Another heel pass here. Looking for the cross. Takes a deflection. It looked like it hit off of Tulsa, yes, and so it will be a goal kick. Ooh, confusion there. Now it's a corner. A bounce off of multiple players. But a set piece awarded to FC Tulsa.
Already less than a minute in, kind of an extension of what we saw in the first 45. A lot of corners for FC Tulsa.
This from Weber. Got a piece of that, did Little Rock. Played high. And Roblewski on the pickup.
Little Rock Rangers, you kind of saw the nerves dissipate after conceding that first goal. They kind of settled into the game. Obviously, quality second goal from Jamie Weber. I mean, there's just nothing you could do about that. Bouncing ball, takes it off the volley, and just a thunderous strike that beats Roblewski. So you chalk that up to being a heck of a goal, and you know that you're going to have to go after this game. You know that winner advances, so there's no difference between conceding a third and opening yourself up and going after a goal to cut into what is a 2-0 advantage for FC Tulsa. So as this second half wears on, where do you kind of find that risk reward if you're Little Rock Rangers? And that's definitely what they've talked about at the break, is where they can maybe take more advantage of, where they can create some more opportunity.
Well, this is around when they scored against Birmingham Legion in the Cup set last year. It was McConnell who's still in the match for Little Rock in the 48th minute. And so, hot start to the second half. Very different position because down 2 goals in this one as opposed to scoreless at the break in 2025.
And you got to believe that both teams have kind of identified this first 15, 20 minutes to be the time in this match where for FC Tulsa, can you go ahead and push for a third goal and make this even a harder mountain to climb for Little Rock Rangers? And for Little Rock Rangers, even if you don't score, can you show some intent going forward? Can you showcase some of the opportunities and chances that you created throughout the first half? Show to be a good threat going forward.
McConnell skating past 2 defenders. Roblewski. A pretty obvious foul against FC Tulsa. We saw a couple of cards given out in the first half against Koka and Stauffer. McConnell. Hollenbach. Roblewski. Cabral pounces. I just can't collect. Get some help and a little push there for Little Rock. Kishuma commits a foul. And another set piece for FC Tulsa.
for the most part, Little Rock have dealt with these set pieces really well, making first contact, making sure they clear the lines. This is going to be something that FC Tulsa wants to improve on.
Wroblewski slides down and picks it up. A couple of bodies in front of him. At the Elon Grad handles.
Looked like FC Tulsa had a chance to have the last touch there. Just got away.
Alonzo Clark, his first appearance with this FC Tulsa side. Product of Davidson in the A-10, the second team all-conference.
Yeah, physical center back, and we've already seen his aerial ability.
Off the cross, there's a chance off the crossbar, second chance, and it squeaks in. Little Rock back in this game.
And exactly what you're looking for if you're Little Rock Rangers. Get a quick turnover, be positive with where you play that first ball, you get the width, the quality run.
Tafael Kushuma, who just powers through his first chance, rattles that crossbar, and then Kishuma is able to tap it home. But you got to be relentless if you're going up against a pro side USL championship team, and it's an early goal, and that's what you want if you're Little Rock.
Absolutely. 50th minute. Put some pressure on FC Tulsa. Make sure they know that this is going to be a game. And Kishuma, credit to him, the ability to bounce back. Missed a clear-cut opportunity in the first half that he wanted back, but clinical in his approach there. Obviously needed the follow-up to tuck it away, but his first strike beating the goalkeeper, but had to continue his run. These are the things that you can't replicate necessarily in training, is the goal up, goal down scenarios, the urgency that plays itself out in these matches.
Dubé using the width. Positive touch here for Little Rock. Patina takes off. And a foul was called against FC Tulsa in transition there. It is a yellow card.
This is the pace and tempo that Little Rock are going to want to play with when you have FC Tulsa out of their structure, out of sorts. Can you start breaking the lines? Can you go on the dribble? Really force defenders to make a play, and now you earn a free kick. And this is a heck of a start for Coach Brunetti and his side. You pull back a goal, and now you have a deep free kick. And this is where sometimes the lack of preparation, being able to go over some of these attacking set pieces, it's less structured. You kind of say, hey, find ball, attack the ball and get the numbers around it and be opportunistic and just get anything generated in front of goal. You just never know what'll happen.
They'll truly have to just trust the game. Little Rock, that one slammed right into the wall for Tulsa, not the execution you want. Attempting to build momentum.
Yeah, you need that service to clear the first line of defense. Give your team a chance. You have all those bodies going forward. Good outlet for FC Tulsa.
It's Cabral. Bouncing off defenders. Off the service, cutting across. Lapa was there at the penalty spot, but no shot. Just out of reach there for Little Rock. Whenever they get it, they want to go. Sissoko on the reset for Tulsa. French international. second year with the club.
Yeah, scoring an early goal just changes everything, because for Little Rock, now you can truly stick to what the game plan was originally. I know you're still down a goal, but you don't have to change anything drastically. So much of that goes back to what Coach Bernetti had talked to us about, was the mentality. Down 2-0, I mean, said that his team had to be the blue-collar team tonight. They're doing just that, battling back.
Things picking up in physicality as this game goes on. By the way, Sissoko was the one to pick up a yellow card for FC Tulsa. Held up. Natalucci gonna break free. Lapa on the turn for Tulsa. Weber in a space. From St. Clair. Here's Harvey St. Clair, the English international. A couple players in the 18. Cabral off the volley. And it's high over the crossbar.
You can see originally he had different plans for this ball, and then that late pressure causes Cabral to rush it here early. Pressure from Tina, and unfortunately skies it over the crossbar.
It did look like Cabral was asking for a sub after that volley. There's a player down for Little Rock right now in the mix. Cabral. The call against him in Tulsa.
Yeah, I saw the same thing as you. I thought after that shot from Remy Cabral, he kind of looked over and made the signal that he needed a substitute, but it does look like FC Tulsa are preparing to make a change.
Now Cabral has only played 40 minutes combined so far in USL Championship. Oh, this is the longest he's played so far this season.
You got to imagine that was a talking point at the break, how much longer he can go, and just kind of gauging it as we see.
Nothing getting chippy. Another shove from Coca.
Yeah, now the real test is for FC Tulsa striking that balance and that blend between going after an additional goal and not leaving yourself susceptible to conceding the equalizer. And kind of where do you strike that balance, and how do you execute it? Obviously you have players, I feel like Jamie Weber, Bruno Lapa, obviously Delence Pierre, defensive side minded midfielder right now, and unquestionably had something to say about how the tempo of this match plays out.
Well, something was picked up
Yes,
in the midfield by our center referee Alston and given to Cabral. Unclear what it was.
It looked like they were trying to find the owner of a shin guard. Somebody had it missing, and see Tulsa prepare to go long here.
Jacoman. Head on a swivel there defensively for Tulsa. Jacoman returned to him. Looks like two subs are getting ready to come in for Tulsa when the time comes. Well, this Tulsa team hoping to really ignite a run in the Open Cup. Last year, 2 wins over Tulsa Athletic, who they have lost to in the Open Cup before, an amateur side, and then beat Forward Madison, a USL League One side. So took care of business against the teams on paper they should beat, but ran into Phoenix Rising, a USL championship foe, and lost in penalties. So a couple of changes. Cabral does indeed exit this game for Tulsa. Khalil Edmakar has come in. Oblevsky. Oh, there's the goal scorer, Hishuma. Up ahead, played long, and just an unlucky bounce there for Koka. Off the combination, Little Rock. Natalucci tracks it down, moves to his right, on the turn, being pestered by the defense there. So he finds Dubé, switching the point of attack for Little Rock, waiting on the ball. Nelson Pierre's also entered this game for Tulsa. And there's a player down for Little Rock. But off the ball.
Good explosive movement and on the ball actions for Little Rock. See the numbers that are able to climb in a lot of those transition moments. They're just so much more aggressive here in the second half. And to be fair, you would expect that. I mean, you're playing the first 45 minutes together, getting familiar, starting to build those relationships. We do see some changes coming for Little Rock.
Well, it's Michael Aqua who's having some trouble right now, limping off the pitch. We'll expect things to start to click if you're at Little Rock, but also this team has not been playing. So fitness levels and just playing a full 90, it's a lot to ask for these players that a lot of them are coming off of a college season that ended in 2025.
Yeah, that's a great point, because there's one thing to say that you're staying ready, and there's another at actually being ready in 90 minutes fit, especially in a situation where you don't have unlimited subs. A lot of these players coming from the college ranks where the substitutions are incredibly different than what they are in a matchup like this. You can come off, you can come back on, and get that rest.
Played through the middle here for Tulsa. Good job tapping that away for Little Rock. One thing that Renee, the head coach for Little Rock, mentioned was that he was really proud of the amount of academy players that made this roster for Open Cup. We're seeing one of them in this game, Aiden Turner, who checked in. He's 18 years old. Here's Turner on the ball. Frustrations for Tulsa. The flag goes up against Little Rock. Well, the U.S. women's national team will conclude its 3-match series against Japan on Friday, April 17th in Commerce City, Colorado, featuring the last 2 She Believes Cup champions. This top 10 matchup takes place on a special Hello Kitty themed night at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Secure your tickets today at ussoccer.com/tickets. Well, if you're just tuning in, this game was 2-0 at halftime. FC Tulsa with a dominant first 45 minutes, and you wondered if they would just walk away with a 4-0 score. Some lopsided scores we saw yesterday in the U.S. Open Cup, but an early goal from Little Rock in this second half in the 51st minute. Kishuma finds the back of the net, and we have ourselves a game. Just a 1-goal lead now for Tulsa. Their last loss to an amateur side was 2023 against Tulsa Athletic. Stretching for it, St. Clair. McConnell. On the long ball. Intended for Turner. Coca. And it's out of reach. Clark will throw it in for Tulsa. There's only been one cup set. There was one cup set yesterday, I should say. I'm not up to date on every single score here tonight, but it was the Vermont Green against the Portland Hearts of Pine. USL League 2 against League 1. This would be a bigger stretch if you're considering the tier system. A long ways to go if you're Little Rock. Need another one. Lampa. One back by Lapa and Tulsa. Off the heavy touch, a tough tackle, but it's clean, says our center referee. Lapa is still down, and then retaliation for Tulsa. Bruno Lapa is a real leader with this Tulsa side. And he's still sitting on the pitch right now.
Going back to your point a few moments ago, the fatigue factor for Little Rock. A lot of these players having to go the full 90. Do you see that kind of play itself into how this match kind of unfolds this final little over 20 minutes?
Oh, that is indeed a foul against Little Rock. And just a yellow.
Moments like this, a casual turnover, you got to get into the tackle. Unfortunately, you're late there. Automatic yellow.
It looked like that one went against Hollenbach. He got saved there because there was another defender in Beltran just behind him. Otherwise, might have been a dogso and a red card. Well, this is what happens in Open Cup, everybody getting banged up a little bit. This is a knockout game, something you can't emulate any other time in your season besides the playoffs, so it's helpful for these teams to experience it early. And about 20 minutes ago in this match, a 1-goal lead for Tulsa on this free kick. Can they add some cushion? Wrapped around, far post, and it's headed home. FC Tulsa, a 2-goal lead yet again.
And it starts with a sparkling delivery here. The run, the timing curled in right between the seams there. But the quality of that service is on showcase. And for FC Tulsa, the response that they wanted after conceding the early goal here in the second half, they restore a 2-goal lead. We've seen them grow into a lot of these set pieces. They've had a lot of corners throughout this match. They've had some free kicks in and around the 18-yard box. So you felt like some of the detail was coming. You saw that wide run. Just curl in central.
McConnell for Little Rock in the area and swept away by Tulsa. Lamar Batista with the goal for FC Tulsa. Spencer's going to be happy about that. Remember, he was talking about executing on set pieces, so they finally do. Now have to defend. That shot is wide for Little Rock. A chance there for Cabeto.
Yeah, for Little Rock, all belief is not lost yet. You still have plenty of time. Been good in some of the transition moments that you've had. Just have to manage this next 10 minutes. You've already seen it. A couple balls clipped into the 18-yard box by Little Rock. For FC Tulsa now, you want to slow this game down. You found the goal that you needed to go back up 2 goals. See some more changes for them.
Lamar Batista, 28 years old, has the 3rd goal for Tulsa, all league in 2025 for this Tulsa side en route to a final appearance.
And that's the thing, is when you have those deep free kicks, you can bring in players and defensive players like Lamar Batista that excel at winning those aerial duels, and you put a service in like that and count on him to go up and win it. So we see some more extracurriculars here at the end of the play.
Oh, right in front of the bench. The bench is there.
These are portions of the game where you have to be measured with what you do after the ball is out of play, because for FC Tulsa, if you are to advance, you want to make sure that you're available for the next round. So making sure that you're not pulled into some of these scrums, some of these emotional moments.
No subs coming in for Little Rock. It's Jesus Nava, another academy product, who enters, 18 years old for the Rangers. Powering up the flank, cutting across Analucci, and he got undercut. Here comes another card. We've seen quite a few. This one, Harvey St. Clair. There's some confusion on the first goal. Was it Cabral? Was it St. Clair? To be honest with you, it's pretty hard to see, and they're saying now that it's St. Clair with that first goal. Did look more like him in the mix.
Yeah, I think some of that confusion comes from when that ball actually fully crossed the line. It did look like Harvey St. Clair had tucked away the first one and it crossed over, but obviously Remy Cabral was there at the end to ensure that it fully passed the line, making sure there was no question about the goal. As you mentioned, now credited to Harvey Sinclair, obviously Bruno Lapa with the assist.
I think for Tulsa, they don't really care who scores. They're just
exactly.
happy right now that they're up 2 goals again. Things getting a little dicey, especially at the start of this half. And that early goal from Little Rock in Kishuma. Sinclair hesitates. Now he picks up speed. Tight passes here for Tulsa. Serving. On the wing. 1v1. Nowhere to go. And no rush as well for Tulsa.
Yeah, everybody knows how challenging this game can be for Little Rock Rangers. You score any time before the 90th minute, game on. I mean, you can make this an absolute frenetic finish. I've seen crazy things happen late in matches. They're gonna have to defend this long throw first.
Off the long throw from Tulsa. Aerial duel, it's won by Little Rock. McConnell. Well, for Little Rock, they've just had to push the pace here. Walked into the second half down 2-0, had to be quite direct. Oblevsky comes out and he wins a foot race. Just looking around at the scores here in Lamar Hunt US Open Cup, everything's chalk at the moment. Turner, is he onside? No.
Yeah, one Knox earlier in the matches had a bit of a scare, conceded a goal in the first minute of their matchup, but went on to score 3 unanswered, advanced in their match 3-1.
Tulsa head coach Luke Spencer was discussing his kind of Open Cup memories, a longtime player at Lou City, and he was a part of a cup set when USL Championship side Louisville beat New England Revolution. Had a couple goals in his Open Cup history.
And one of the special things about this tournament is it's in the name. It's open to any team that can advance through, and it just showcases the levels of soccer and the talent that exists in all the levels and the quality that you have, both coaches and players. Some of the storylines that you get year after year just make this tournament so special.
Just a warning from our center referee in Alston. Really both of these teams as we finish up this match. Yeah, to your point, tomorrow I have a game where the head coach is 20 years old for Restoli SC against Charlotte Independence. Natalucci. Powering past the defender, back post, defense is there, looking for a second ball, no. Oh, that's good defensive work for Tulsa on that far post. Otherwise, it looked like that was goal number 2 for Little Rock.
Yeah, relentless running there to get yourself back in position. Don't leave anything to chance. Your goalkeeper's going to cover front post. It's now your role and responsibility to cover that back post area. Keep this game at 3-1.
More changes for Little Rock here at home. William Hankins has entered, 16 years old. He'll be the youngest player in this game, no matter what. Wide on that chance.
Just onto the race, number 24, Asher Hankins, and number 47, Osagi Omori.
Osage Imorige is the other player to enter for Little Rock. Started his career in junior college, but he just recently signed with a D1 school in Northern Illinois. Hollenbach plays it through the middle, looking to break free. Little Rock off the turn, played wide. Kubedu curls it up, looking to go top shelf. That was very, very close.
And I was about to mention that this is a moment in the match where some of that unfamiliarity kind of rears its head, because you need to play up tempo, you need to play urgent, but collectively you just haven't done that yet. But this is also where you see the individual quality kind of shine, and you saw it right there, that take from distance, the creativity, the crafty that take is. You almost curl that back post. See quite a score from Union Omaha there.
Well, that's the most lopsided score we've seen in this first round. 7-0 Union Omaha over the St. Louis side. And San Antonio has already played this Tulsa team in USL Championship with a 2-0 comfortable lead in the second half. There's a later slate of games that will start at 10 p.m. Eastern time as well here in the US Open Cup. So this is just a handful of those matches.
Yeah, the Charleston Battery added time to score their game winner, beat Florida Badgers 2-1, and a brace from Colton Swan to see Charleston Battery advance. Just 24 shots to 2.
Looks like New Mexico United just got on the board as well. Going up against an amateur side. Morgay has it swiped. Here comes Tulsa. Off to the races, cutting through a tackle. And it's taken away. Little Rock surviving on that breakout chance. Kishuma on the diagonal pass. Natalucci moves it to his right, takes a deflection, ends up on the far post, and it's a goal for Little Rock! Aiden Turner. Back to a 1-goal game late in this match, the Academy product.
And it's box to box. I mean, you go from winning a tackle inside your own 18-yard box, big chance from FC Tulsa, right down the field. You catch them unbalanced. Big diagonal ball that unlocks that space. The big thing is that you climb to the field collectively and you put yourself in a position where a deflected ball, you're able to fight for it, you tuck it away, and game on.
Well, Brunetti's got to be so pleased. And Tulsa gets right back into it. Really tough for Little Rock. FC Tulsa just responding right away. And that's a heartbreaker. So it is going to be a 2-goal lead yet again. I've said that multiple times in this game for Tulsa. And a response seconds on the first play after Little Rock made this a 1-goal match to Aiden Turner. Well, things have opened up. 6 goals combined. Firing from outside the 18. Ricochets off of multiple players. It is going to be a goal kick. The Little Rock players thinking last touch off of Tulsa. So just to recap, Aiden Turner scores. Left-footed shot inside the box, and then Tulsa on the other end off the kickoff. Find the back of the net. Apologies, unable to see that goal, but it was a goal for Tulsa.
Yeah, you're going to look at some missed opportunities for Little Rock throughout this game, and then look at that moment. Obviously, it doesn't ensure that you go find the 3rd goal and you equalize, but you got to give yourself a chance. And right off kickoff, you've just got this crowd back into it. You're building off belief, but you just shut off for just a moment, and FC Tulsa punishes you. That is the clear definition of that next 5 minutes after scoring a goal is so important.
It hasn't been perfect for FC Tulsa, but they've done their job here tonight. Handled what Little Rock has thrown their way. You have to consider that these USL League One teams, championship teams, are still early days in their season. Lots of new faces putting the pieces together, trying to find their identity, doing it in real time against a team that is going to go all out, never playing for a draw.
Yeah, even with the little time remaining, you're going to get everything that Little Rock Rangers have. You have players that are aspiring pros. They're trying to carve out a career for themselves.
Morgay off the clear.
After this match, FC Tulsa hosting 3 straight home games in league play. First 2, Las Vegas Lights and Phoenix Rising, and then after that, hoping that that's the next U.S. Open Cup match. Then you host Orange County.
From Bettina for Little Rock. Their season does not kick off until May, and some of these players just joined because they were on Little Rock's roster for the Open Cup last year. They won't be on this roster. There'll be some college players on break. Kishuma keeps it in the attacking third, a throw-in for Little Rock. The time is ticking in this one. Now, Nelson Pierre with the goal. Might be the final one that we've seen in this game for Tulsa to make it 4-2.
And Hayden Turner and Nelson Pierre's goals both being listed in the 85th minute. So how quickly momentum can shift. You think you're right back in the match and with plenty of time to go after the 3rd goal. So Nothing was set just yet, but right off a kickoff, FC Tulsa goes down, scores the 4th goal, and at the point you were making earlier, obviously Luke Spencer, his group, still that long journey left, 28 games left, regular season, reigning Western Conference champs, all the way to penalties in the championship game.
We'll tack it away off the swipe for Tulsa. Threaded through centrally. And the shot is wide. Just reaching for that one touch. Well, can't convert for Tulsa, but anything now is just kind of gravy. Oh, and Dom has entered the game, and he was the one to take that shot. A stoppage chime.
Yeah, Owen Dom had their first goal in their 2nd round match at Forward Madison last year.
There's Batista. Scored off a header. It was goal number 3 for Tulsa.
For FC Tulsa, I go back to what I said right before the break. I think it's going to be about their box defending. You saw it on the 2nd goal with Aiden Turner kind of cleaning up some of their first contact mistakes and some of the second opportunities that were given.
Oh, there's another shot by the 16-year-old Hankins. And reaching for it, Jacoman has it. And he'll just kill some clock.
I know results-wise this is not going the way of Little Rock Rangers, but they have to be proud of the performance. Created some good opportunities. Obviously have let some defensive situations get away from them, conceding the 4 goals. You've seen moments where collectively it has looked really sharp, and then individually showcased a lot of qualities, a lot of characteristics that will translate well as these players develop and evolve through their careers.
Well, this Little Rock team earned an automatic bid to the Open Cup after a very strong USL League 2 season. So if they do that again, they'll be right back here.
Talked to Coach Bernetti about the experience in the Open Cup. Obviously, it's special, but it also means that you won your division in the USL League 2, which also shows their ambition as a club, organization.
Well, a tough coming together there for Little Rock. Hollenbach is slow to get up. Bernetti saying he wanted to represent Arkansas. It's not necessarily the first state you think of when you think of soccer, but Little Rock has done well today, of course, winning an Open Cup game in 2025, cementing themselves as a club to watch out for. There's a final whistle, a high-scoring affair. FC Tulsa takes care of business, though. The USL Championship side defeating the Little Rock Rangers 4-2, the final.
Yeah, performance that they should be proud of, Little Rock Rangers. But FC Tulsa were just too much on the night. I mean, 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the second half. Did it in a variety of different ways. Did it in transition, open play, well on the ball, and then the free kicks kind of led to this game being opened up, and really well done from Luke Spencer's group. They're going to turn the page and look to advance even further.
So FC Tulsa moves on to the second round. Let's take a look at the highlights from this one. This game, a home game for the Little Rock Rangers against the USL Championship team in Tulsa.
And a lot of it started with unlocking the wide space for FC Tulsa. Terrific delivery from Bruno Lapa. His first goal now Credit to Harvey Sinclair, tucks that away. Remy Cabral was obviously there to make sure that there was no question about it. And then, speaking of no question about it, Jamie Weber, I mean, just teased this up from distance. Casual celebration. Probably one of the best goals of this opening round. Start the second half. I mean, Little Rock Rangers asked a lot of difficult questions of FC Tulsa. Get an early second half goal to make this a 2-1 game. But a solid response from FC Tulsa. They get the free kick. Good delivery from Jamie Weber. Good finish from Lamar Bautista. More from Little Rock. This coming from a defensive tackle in their own 18-yard box, right down the field. Good diagonal ball, good follow-up. Aiden Turner tucks this away. Makes this a tight game, but unfortunately they just concede the fourth goal right after kickoff. Makes it a 4-2 game as we see the stats. And Little Rock Rangers had their chances. 13 shots, 7 on target. FC Tulsa obviously efficient. 5 shots on target, 4 of those hit the back of the net. And FC Tulsa see themselves advancing. And again, Luke Spencer's team have some things to work on, but have to be pleased with the overall performance.
So round 2 takes place. It kicks off March 31st. That's the next step for FC Tulsa. They defeat Little Rock Rangers 4-2. A wild second half for these two teams, but FC Tulsa, no cup set for them tonight against the Little Rock Rangers. That's going to do it from our entire crew. From Eric Dobransky, I'm Maura Sheridan saying so long. Have a fantastic night, everyone.